Hi, Scorpio. Welcome to your April 2019 love reading. Could be love or life. Leans toward love. And this is Cusp of Beauty Tarot. I'm thankful that you're here. Thank you for being part of the community. Appreciate your likes, comments, shares. I love your comments when you're helping other people out. And I've noticed people find it super helpful. So if you're thinking of something and you're listening and you're debating on whether to comment, please maybe consider commenting. It certainly ends up helping somebody that's in your same situation out. So, and I love to hear what you're thinking too. But anyway, thank you for being here. This is for Scorpio, Sun, Moon, Rising, and Venus for April 2019. And I'm using the Osho Zen Tarot. It's a beautiful deck. If you haven't tried it, it's really got great imagery and a little bit different interpretation sometimes, but generally follows basic guidelines, slight deviations. Scorpio, what's going on? Okay. Interesting. Past energies in this 9-card spread. Okay, that definitely wants to come out. Reading it upright because that's just the way this deck reads best, is upright. There's no need to read reversals. Okay, so past energies out of the gate. We have the Master, the Miser, and politics, which is like the 7 of Swords. Somebody's wearing a mask, somebody's kind of saying one thing and doing another. So past energies are, I think that you're having an insight. You're having illumination and insight. Maybe you took some time out, maybe you took some time away, or maybe you talked to somebody who was more knowledgeable and you learned something. But I think that this energy is you, that you've gained insight in the recent past, that you kind of went off to seek a break from something, and in doing so gained greater intuition and insight about a situation, greater wisdom and learning. And I think what you're learning is that you or somebody else was holding on and not sharing. And I actually think it's another party, because I think similarly this person is also having a tendency to wear a mask. So somebody was holding their emotions or their information very tight and not changing. And you've had an illumination about that. You're also very aware that they could be wearing a mask and not being honest with you. Or maybe maybe you already know that they did something that was sneaky or surreptitious, or just not on the up and up, or that they seem to be one way with you, but they're really not that way. You're very tuned into what's real and what's not, and where somebody might be withholding from you. And I think that that's what it is. I think you have a realization where there's been withholding and falseness, deception. I think there's a borderline deception here. So Scorpio, what's the current energy? Oops. Okay, well, that's the second one here. Okay. So the current energy for you, Scorpio, is more toward your understanding what you've experienced, integrating some of the lessons, integrating some of the learning. This is a bit like Temperance. So the blending of your information, the blending of your experiences to kind of apply it to your life. That's a real wisdom. And I think there's definitely been a wisdom gained for many of you that are watching this reading. And the core of the reading is rebirth. So literally out of intensity comes something new. this is really kind of equated to the Ten of Swords. So we know in the Ten of Swords, there's been some betrayal. There's been some trials and tribulations, but it's the worst it would get. And out of that, there's just a new whole cycle beginning, because it's the end of a cycle. So this would say for many of you, Scorpio, that this is an end of a cycle, as bad as it got, or as you know, as, what would I say? Let's say as deception oriented or negative as it got, certainly enough to create some upheaval for you. It got kind of almost as bad as it's going to get. There's definitely been some exhaustion around it. There's been some burden around it. There's been some fights or warrior energy around it. You seem to be that you're in it for one more slog. You're in it again for the last round. You may feel exhaustion, but you have not given up yet. I think you're seeing the higher purpose in this and deciding, you know, what about this is worthwhile for you. But there's and you've got a lot of wisdom around this, integration, balance, insight. But I do think that you have a real recognition that this has gotten as bad as it's going to go, and the only way forward from here, Scorpio, is up. The only way forward is up. So that's what I'm getting. That's a good thing, right? I mean, sometimes that just needs to happen. So what can you take forward into the future, Scorpio? Oops. We got 4. All right. What can you take forward into the future? What's in your mix? Okay. So I'm going to take it here. We've got, interestingly, morality. Where can you keep in mind what's fair, what's right, what's just? If you felt that you've not been treated well, don't give anybody allowances. Create better boundaries. Create better boundaries. This is the slowing down. So, you know, where do you need to take a pause? Where do you need to take a pause and continue to evaluate your situation to make better conscious choices? I think the boundary you're making is between you and this person, the person that maybe caused some fights, the person that was argumentative, the person that was blunt, honest to the fault, hurtful, didn't realize how much they were hurtful. Their energy is still in your midst and causing you some stress. This is like the 7 of Wands, where we create boundaries and force away things that don't fit. It's not that image. It's the stress of dealing with a lot of things in this image. But in the traditional 7 of Wands, if you remember the wand pushing back on the other wands coming at you, I was getting a message about boundaries, and then the 7 of Wands falls. So I think that it's a process of you knowing this is the beginning of a new cycle, watching your energy, watching where you can get dragged down, trying to stay positive and insightful and mature about this, and keeping a boundary from whatever energy this is, Scorpio. Okay, so anything that causes you upheaval right now, it may be a person, it may be just this one person on your mind, but it may be just an energy around you. Where else can you make your life more simple, less chaotic, more peaceful, more in a line and in tune with you, where it's just more swimming downstream instead of upstream? You know, protect yourself and take really, really good self-care right now, having come through what is like a, you know, a deception or a 10 of Swords like experience. A rebirth is coming, yes, but you have to take good care of yourself. Take good care of yourself. Put those boundaries up. Put those boundaries up, Scorpio. Absolutely. Do things for you. It's a great time to do it. It's a time where a lot of people are thinking that way. Closing chapters, but where it makes sense, or just raising their standards. People only treat you to your standards. Where do you need to go within? Be more in touch with you. Whatever it takes. Where can you turn in and be more in touch with you emotionally? And, the other thing here with aloneness, aloneness is not lonely. There's a distinguishing factor from aloneness to lonely. Okay, so this is the positive side of that you might need to take some time turning in to tap into yourself and be okay with being by yourself. Being okay with you is the step to the whole thing. So I apologize if you're hearing any signals. So anyway, I really was going to end there, and it's a very clear message. You've come through a difficult time. Tune into you. Don't settle. Raise your standards, and people will respond accordingly. And if you need to take time to tune into yourself and in a healthy way, create some alone time, definitely setting boundaries here. So good news is, bottom of the deck, we've got the success card, Scorpio. So another great way to think about this next stage for you is there are some awesome things coming where you can be acknowledged, where you can be rewarded, where you can feel the benefit of what you put your very precious energy into. So stay tuned for that, and good luck with that. Thank you for being here, and I will talk to you soon.